Danny Segura for MMA Junkie. I'm here with Alex Perez, who literally just days ago won a fight, and he's already booked for another one. So I wanted to talk to him about this interesting stage that he's at in his career, and also the division itself, the UFC flyweight division, going through a lot right now. So, Alex, first of all, thank you for taking the time, and how are you, man? How you feeling?
I feel good, man. Obviously a good weekend in the office. So now it's just back to work, and then getting back into that.
Yeah, man. So let me ask you this, because I know, like, as soon as you guys win a fight, right, they take you backstage to, to do the interviews, and everyone's asking, well, how do you feel? How does the victory feel? But you guys are just processing everything, right? So, like, it's been a few days. You hadn't won a fight in a few years. How has this week been like? Have you been walking around with a little extra energy, or how has it been now processing, that big win on Saturday?
Nah, I mean, I kind of just do the same thing, man. Like I'm not very an emotional person. Like the most emotion you get out of me is probably in the cage, and then just kind of back to work. You know what I mean? Like whether it's good or bad, like if something good happens or bad happens to me, it's usually like, hey, I can take a day to soak it in and kind of just move on from there. Whether it's in fighting or in life, so that's always kind of been my mo. Like you can't over celebrate, you can't over be depressed or sad, and you just kind of move on. Life still's coming. I mean, I still got to pay my bills. You know what I mean? I can't be
Right.
too happy about something or too sad about something because the next thing is coming up.
Yeah. I know you said you're a little bit, you're responsible with your money. That's what you said post fight. But now with the bonus, I'm guessing with the win bonus as well, that I'm assuming it's on your contract. Did you get anything? Did you treat yourself to anything? Maybe nothing crazy, but maybe a nice
Nah,
dinner or
man.
something.
I got my son a whole bunch of monster trucks.
Okay, nice.
He's 3 years old and he's starting to understand now. Like, he cries every time I leave because he lives in California. I'm in Vegas and Cali, back and forth. So every time I have to leave after I see him, he starts crying and stuff like, "Hey, Papa, you want monster trucks?" He's into monster trucks and robots. I'm like, "You want that stuff?" He's like, "Yeah." So well, Daddy got to work. He's like, "Okay." So as soon as I was done with the fight the next day, I took him to go buy some monster trucks, and that's probably the craziest thing I spent. I paid off my car. I mean, the
Nice.
only debt I have now is just my house. You know what I mean? And that's about it. I'm pretty responsible with my money, so like I pride myself in being debt free. You know, so yeah, that's about it, man. I'm saving up and hopefully buy a property here soon to start renting out.
Nice. That's what's up. Well, you're well on your way, man. And let me ask you this. You get the victory. They asked you what's next. What's next? You're like, hey, let me get back to my son. Let me just kind of enjoy this win and get back to my family. And then just a few days later, we find out that you have taken a fight and that you're going to return on June 15th in Las Vegas against Tagir Ulanbekov. So how did that come about? Did you request that to the matchmakers, to your manager? Like, hey, I want to get back in there as soon as possible. Did the opportunity just land on your lap? Talk to us about how this fight came about for you.
So I was supposed to fight him already originally June 15th, and then they came out to me with this opportunity. I'm not sure if they told his side or whatever because I seen some things like, oh, what happened to our fight, blah blah blah, and I was like, hey man, that's not my job to tell you what happened. So I just kind of took it like that, and then I mean I had no injuries, no nothing. So I might as well stay busy and active. I kind of eased into training this week. I mean, ease into training.
Right.
You know.
Continue. I mean,
Yeah, basically, and I just kind of went from there. The opportunity came up, and I want to stay active. I mean, if you look at it, yeah, I'm ranked number 5, but I'm 1-3. I mean, I lost 3 fights in a row, and I barely won one, so I for sure wasn't gonna get a title shot unless everything aligned itself. I know Moreno's taking a hiatus for a little bit, which he deserves. I know Brandon Royval is probably next in line for a title. I know Kai's coming off an injury, and he's getting back to training. So, you know what I mean? They never offered that. I know Manel's injured and coming back to work hopefully soon. But, I mean, he was injured, and I know Amir is injured and barely starting back to training. So, for me, it's just about staying active and clearing out the division any way I can. Whether it's fighting above me or below me, don't matter. I'm eventually going to have to fight all these guys anyways. So, might as well just do it now.
right. Yeah, and that's interesting. Your division is in an interesting spot. We see that Steve Erceg's fighting for the title this Saturday at UFC 301. And to be fair with Steve, great fighter, but if it wasn't because of the positioning of the division, he probably wouldn't be in that spot, right? Giving everything that that you've mentioned. Do you almost feel like this worked out perfectly for you in the sense that you got a short notice opportunity, you took it, big win, and now you're returning quickly? And if some of those guys are still injured or unavailable, like I don't know, man. You're a former title challenger. You're in the top five. I mean, an opportunity for the title could come your way, right?
Yeah, I mean, anything can happen. Anything can happen in the sport. You know what I mean? I just worry about myself and what's going on. Obviously, I want to beat all these guys. I want to fight all these guys. But I wish no will ill towards them. Hopefully they all get healthy and hopefully we can get these fights going. But if the opportunity comes, then great. I'm gonna take the opportunity.
Yep. And I know you don't like to sort of look too ahead and kind of just stay in the moment, but um, have you thought about or do you have any sort of feeling about how far potentially you could be from that title?
No, I haven't really thought about it. My mindset coming into the UFC and my mindset still is I just keep winning fights. They can't deny me a title shot. So start now. I just beat the number 5 guy. Come in there, beat the number 12 guy. I believe if I go in there, beat those guys. There's 2 guys off the list. Obviously like Makaib got a win over me. I would love that rematch. All these guys I was supposed to fight. Like I want to get there, get these fights going, and stay active. So like I said, I'm not really looking to what's in the future. I just worry about myself. I'm a fighter, not a matchmaker, so I just kind of just do what they offer me a fight, and I kind of take it.
Yep. And would you say, like, because you had a period of inactivity, there was a bunch of issues, canceled fights, etc. What would you think has changed? Was it just like bad luck, bad timing, or has something changed that all of a sudden, like, it seems that you're in a much more different spot in your career?
I think it's a little bit of everything, right? Like I'm getting older, I had to change the way I train, but sometimes too, like if you look at those fights, I was supposed to fight Asgard 3 times.
Yeah.
He pulled out 3 times. I was supposed to fight Matt Chanel. He pulled out twice, right? I didn't make weight. I didn't make weight. I didn't make weight 1 time. So that's five fights right there that were on me. The ones on me, yeah, I was injured against Babaz Amir. I had to get orbital surgery. I just don't put myself on social media. I'm a very private person.
Mhm.
Obviously, if you guys can look at my social media, it's always about my son and fighting. Really, I don't post in my business. I really don't post anything too personal, injuries, things like that. So like there is reasons why I pulled out, but like I said, like I just had to change the way I trained and obviously just focus more on recovery. I'm an old school wrestler from the Central Valley, so we like to grind.
Yeah. Has that been a big adjustment to kind of hold back a little bit just to kind of keep
A
the
lot of
body good?
a lot. I'm used to just go, 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 and I've had to learn how to kind of relax a little bit, listen to my body more.
Yeah. Do you almost feel like that's going to be key in, your career moving forward? Because I mean, once you're in the cage, man, like your performances, forget, what happened before. If somebody didn't know you and just looked at what you did on Saturday, they're like, man, that's somebody that's primed for the title shot right there. Do you feel like that's almost like the missing key for all this?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like, I'm getting older. I'm 32 years old. I've been competing and I've been wrestling since I was in 5th grade. I wrestled in college. I've been fighting since 2010. So I've been doing this for a long time. So, I mean, making adjustments is the biggest key, I think, to longevity and just the way we fight. I'm getting older. Like Jim Miller's still doing it because he had to make adjustments. I mean, it wasn't like he's still training the same way he started training at or when he was, whatever age he started training at. So for me, it's the same thing. I'm just making adjustments.
Yeah. And talk to me now about Tagir. He's obviously, pretty big for the division, quite tall. I don't know how tall he is, but he looks much taller than everyone else. Tough Russian dude. Like, give me your I guess your scouting report on him, and what are you expecting in June?
He's tough, man. We actually sparred together before that Cody Durden fight. I was coming off a shoulder injury, and we had spar. He needed some rounds or whatever. He's tough, man. He's super tough. He's good grappler. Long, lengthy, guy. Like it's gonna be a good fight. I think it's gonna be more of a grind, just because we're both come from that grappling background. And I think it's gonna be a grind. There's be a lot of good scrambles and stuff. But I'll be ready.
Yeah, for sure, man. And let me ask you this. I meant to ask this earlier. And it's been interesting how like you've been managing your career. Like the MMA fan base sometimes can be very toxic online, especially on social media. The comment sections can get a little wild. And these last few years haven't been the best for your career. As you mentioned, injuries, layoffs, etc. Um, how have you dealt with sort of the fan base, because you guys are there in the public eye, and a lot of people say some a lot of crazy shit, you know. How has that experience been like, you know, because that's something that 95% of the people, 99% of the people in the world don't experience, right? Like being in the public eye, being famous, being subject to criticism from people that you have no idea who they are.
Honestly, when I was younger, it really bugged me. Right when I first started fighting, I was
Yeah.
like, "Oh, why is this person saying this? They don't know me. They don't know what I went through." But now, being older, I can care less. Honestly,
Right.
like if you look at my social media, it's not private. The comments are there. You can put whatever you want. You know what I mean? Like I can care less. You know, like the only things I do block on my stuff is like on my son's pictures, obviously.
Right. Of course.
Like,
Yep.
you know what I mean? I don't want people posting things on my son, like especially about me. Like a post, if you're gonna post about me, make a post about me. You can call me whatever you want to call me. You know, that's the only thing I don't do. I don't like it. So I had to block that. Anytime I post a picture of my son, I
Right.
block the comments on those pictures. But on me, like you can talk all you want. I can care less. You're still watching me. You're still going on my
Right. Yeah.
stuff. You know, to me, I can care less. You know, the people's opinion that matter are the people I'm around, my friends, my family, you know, my training partners, everybody like that, like my close circle. That's all I really care about. Everybody else can really go, like they can go fuck off. You know what I mean? I can care less. I'm not big into it. I'm not really on social media, anyways. You know, and it's always makes me laugh because guys would be on there talking smack or whatever. They'd be like, "Oh, I hope you don't pull out again." I'll be like, "Oh," and like I'll catch some here and there. You know what I mean? I'll see it. Like, "Oh, go ask your mom, see how good my pull out game
Yeah.
is," and then I get reported.
Good one.
You know, I get reported. You know,
Right.
and
Right.
I'm like, and then Instagram always rates me a message. "Oh, you got reported because you're uncommon." I was like, "Well, how do you know it's true or not true? Why are you blocking me? Why are you taking
Right.
down my
Yeah.
comment? How do you know it's true or not?" And I just laugh. You know, to me, too much time in the day. I'm too busy. I own I own Osage Republic. I have my son to worry about. I got my training, and I also help other fighters. You know, I corner a lot of guys, so I'm also helping them. I'm too busy to care what people think. As long as it's people that I like, I know, I care for, and everything. As long as they know who I really am and what their opinion about me, that's all I
Yeah.
really care about.
Yeah, I guess this might be a silly question because I feel like the answer is like I don't care, given what you're saying. But like, do you feel like almost like the public has been unfair to you because again, a lot of the things were out of your control, a lot of things people didn't know, and if you look at like the losses you had prior, like Davison Figueiredo, you know, was the champion at the time in the title fight. Pantoja, future champion, now current champion. And Mukaev, I mean, you know, he's a stud, and he's definitely at some point I would assume he's going to fight for a title. And that was a very close fight as well. Do you feel like almost like the public has been unfair to you?
Ah, I'm not too sure, man. Everybody has their opinions, right? Like, if that's what they think of me, that's what they think of me. Um, do I feel like the common fan doesn't understand what's going on? Obviously, a lot of people don't know what training camps are like and things like that. You know, yeah, I feel that part is true. Like they don't know. They talk with before knowing what the situation is. But at the end of the day, we're all human, right? We are gonna say what we want to say. Um, the biggest thing I've learned is just like, man, can't really care about that. And a lot of these guys don't, like I said, they just don't understand the sport, don't understand what we go through. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, yeah, very true. And let me ask you about this Saturday. Obviously, at UFC 301, there's a big fight, a championship fight. Pantoja is defending his belt against Steve Erceg. You've talked about it already, you know, leading up to your fight, given that obviously, you know, this is a big moment in your division. Has your opinion changed at all? You're siding probably with Pantoja, but has your opinion changed at all as we get closer to the fight?
No, I give it like a 70-30, 60-40 chance. You know, Pantoja has experience. Pantoja's wrestling isn't the best. He's just a dog that he just keeps shooting. You know, um, on the feet, Pantoja's tough. He can take a punch. You know what I mean? Steve, there's not really. I haven't seen a lot of them. Or I haven't really seen a lot of fights outside the UFC. But he's a stud too. And one thing that's scary about the division, he's shown that he has one punch knockout. You know.
Yeah,
So whether he landed, whether it was like Chanel, he just hit the right button or what, but you know what I mean. On paper, Pantoja gets hit,
yeah.
and Steve's gonna hit him. So you know, I still give him a chance, but obviously I want Pantoja to win just because if I fight for the title, I want to fight the guy that beat me.
Right. Kill two birds with one stone, right? Title and avenge the loss.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I guess do you feel like Pantoja is going to be somebody that can maybe hold the belt for a little bit, at least maybe until you get to the top? Because in recent years we've just seen that belt swap hands all the time. I'm not sure if someone's at least in recent years been able to complete a title defense. Right, it's either Figueiredo beating Moreno or vice versa, or now Pantoja. Well, Pantoja defended the belt right against Royval, but
Yeah.
he's sort of the first to kind of start, I guess, a title defense trail. Do you feel like he's going to be able to hold that for a bit?
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just so hard because the whole division is so good. Like
Yeah.
he's 10-0 against the top 9 or 10 guys or whatever he is. So, like, I mean, he's a stud. So, I mean, he can. Anybody, it's a fight. Everybody has potential to keep their win streak or keep a win going. Right? It's a game of inches. So I feel like he has a good potential. Like I said, but flyweights it's always so different than it is like at heavier weights. Um, like a lot of our guys are real skilled everywhere, but there's somewhere where the guy's a little bit better than the other guy. So, I mean, I'm hoping he does. Like I said, I want to fight him for the title, but if he doesn't, next one up.
Yeah, for sure, man. All right, man. Well, congrats on the victory. It was an awesome knockout. It was a great way to get back in the win column, and glad to see you again taking another fight here, and excited for this June 15th bout against Segura. So thank you again for your time, and best of luck in this upcoming fight you got.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you having me.